you ready? Let's do it. La 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 la. All right, here we go. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we get a chance to talk with JP. JP, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here, Brian.
So now what kind of vehicle are you in? Because I've honestly hadn't seen these before, and tell me more about it.
It gets a lot of looks. It is a 1993 Revcon Trailblazer 4x4. It's got 6 wheels, but 4x4 power. The last axle is just a tag axle for weight support. This one, like I said, is a 1993, so it's just about 31 years old. And I've had it for about 2 years. The 2 previous owners, one had it for 10 years, one had it for 20 years. And believe it or not, it just turned 30,000 miles the other day.
That's it.
That's it, original. Everything in it is Cherry. This company, Revcon, apparently went out of business about 1999, 2000. And between 92 and 2000, they made somewhere around 78 of these is what I've heard.
So this is kind of a very unique item that there are not very many on the road.
I know of about 3 or 4 others that are still running around. This one is number 12 of that 70 some odd that were supposedly made. And yeah, only 30,000 miles, garage kept in Arizona and Southern California. I heard this one also was special out of the 70 some odd that were built. The story I got was that this was built to go right to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia, for some noble Saudi sheikh or something. Oh. So it had some special touches, like an oversized generator to power 2 air conditioners that I've since taken out.
So should we start calling you a sheik or something like that?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't have the money.
Oh, well, you know, you're halfway there. You got the vehicle.
Well, if the sheik happens to see this and he wants to buy it back, I'm happy to sell it.
Well, let's go ahead and just get into the tour right now.
Let's see it.
All right, let's go.
So, welcome to my home. Let's go in and check it out. So I guess we should start the tour back here at the back of the rig. This is the bedroom, which originally was a U-shaped dinette that would seat 8 people at one time. It was massive. And then the bed was in the cab over. We converted this to a full-time bed. It's a queen-size bed. The power system is underneath the bed. I've got a nice 43-inch television down here at the foot of the bed. And then one of the things that gets a lot of attention is the mini-split air conditioner heater. So I've got about 2,300 watts of solar on the roof, an insane amount of solar for most RVs, and that's powering about 680 amp hours worth of lithium batteries. So between those two, I can power the air conditioner or heater off the grid year-round, no problem. I can run the AC all day long and still fill up the batteries with the solar on the roof.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a huge system.
It is a big system. I mean, they're starting to get larger systems are starting to be more common, but when you look at the top, I've got 27 feet of space and it's covered with 6 residential solar panels. So I can't fit any more up there.
What about all the other stuff on the roof? Did you just go over top of it? Yeah,
so there was 2 air conditioning units on the top that I took those out. And then there's 3-4 vents in the roof, and there's still enough room to raise the vents about 3-4 inches. So you can still get airflow through there, but having that solar on top gives you more space, and it also protects you from just the sun directly hitting the top of the rig. So it serves double duty.
So it's a built-in shade.
It is. It's built-in shade. And it also, when you're driving down the road, air passes under it, which helps cool the solar panels, which makes them more efficient than they actually are.
Now, have you noticed at all a reduction in gas mileage, or what kind of gas mileage do you get with this?
It would be hard to notice a reduction. I get somewhere between 6 to 8 miles per gallon on the best days, but usually around 7 miles per gallon.
Now, do you ever tow a vehicle behind you or anything?
I do. I have a Jeep Cherokee that I tow behind. It rides back there fairly well. It doesn't reduce the gas mileage too much. So this is the kitchen. One of the things that I did when I got it with that much extra electricity, I took out the propane stove and now I use a little induction cooktop. It's plenty. Between that, I've got an electric air fryer. I've got an Instapot. We do a lot of barbecuing on the pellet grill outside. So none of those require propane. So I pretty much shut down the propane. The only thing that still uses propane is the water heater. And I turn that on to electric a lot of times in the summer. I've got a 3-way fridge here. So it works on electric, propane, and DC power. And one of the things I think is neat, is I've put in a bunch of automatic triggers and smart outlets. I mean, if you look around, almost every plug in here is a smart outlet connected to Wi-Fi all the time. So like one of the things I've done is the refrigerator is on a smart outlet, and I've got a routine set up so that when my batteries are completely full in the summertime, the refrigerator switches automatically from propane to electricity. Then I'm saving electricity, and then at the end of the day, when the sun drops down at sunset, it switches back to propane automatically, and I don't even have to worry about it. I'm a bit of a gadget geek and like toys, and I tried my best to turn this 30-year-old vehicle into a smart vehicle. So I've added Wi-Fi outlets everywhere that are on schedules and can be triggered automatically. And there's some things that I couldn't figure out how to automate with Wi-Fi outlets. So I added these button pressers that do the work for you in these old vehicles. So for instance, to turn on the water pump in the morning, I say, Alexa, turn on the water pump. She acknowledges it, and then if you watch, this little switch will come out and press the button for me. There it goes. Alexa, turn on the water heater. The switch will come out, turn on the water heater, and it fires it up automatically. And then to make it even more interesting, I have routines, so I can say one trigger when I wake up first thing in the morning, and the smart speaker will tell me the weather, we'll turn on the water pump, we'll start making my coffee, we'll turn on the water heater, and start making the hot tea for my girlfriend. And it's all said with one trigger word. It's not necessary, especially when you're only in 27 feet, but it sure is fun.
What's the trigger word?
I'm not going to tell you. So one of the unique things about the Revcon is you can access the driver's compartment through this passageway here. It makes it easy if it's a rainy day just to get in the seat and start driving. And then this I've set up as my secondary kitchen. So because I have a lot of power, I use electricity to cook with. So this is my air fryer. Works wonderful. I love the thing. I've got a coffee maker here, a kettle. These are all set up on smart routines in the morning, so they turn on automatically. And then this thing I love. This is my nugget ice maker. So you get the fine little pebble ice. I love this thing. And yeah, I always have cold ice for my drinks. I got my Berkey water station over here so I can use less than optimal water to drink and cook with, and this thing filters it pretty good. And I have a plan of, originally this was 2 seats that I never take 4 people with me. So I took those seats out, and I have a plan to build some boxes here and make this a more specialized storage area. I just haven't gotten around to it, but we'll do that eventually. The only thing I do generally to be ready to move is move the Berkey. I'll set this over on the cabinet or the in the sink. But other than that, everything stays where it is and is secure. When I got the Revcon, this is where the original owners slept, but they only used it for weekend trips or a couple of times a year for a long trip down to Baja. It is not convenient to sleep in a cab over, especially if you're 2 people. So this is now storage. I use these black and yellow storage bins. It keeps everything organized. They're labeled. And then if I do have somebody who's coming over to stay, it's easy to move those out of the way so that they can sleep up there overnight.
So JP, how long have you been on the road, and is this your first vehicle since being on the road?
So I've been a nomad of some sort for 22, 23 years. I've been an RVer for the last 10 years. And this is my 5th RV in 10 years. I tried a few others. I had a big Class A. I had a couple of travel trailers, but I was looking for something that would allow me to get a little further off-road, and we take this down to Baja for a couple of months every year, or into Mexico, up into the mountains, and got everything we need. I mean, there's 45 gallons of fresh water. That's enough for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks of off-grid living. And I don't shame anybody who doesn't, but I shower every day, and 45 gallons will last me 2 weeks on the road. And then this is where I work from. I do a lot of flying out for my job. I'm a tour guide. So I will leave the Revcon parked at a airport or at a couple of storage yards that I use, and I'll fly out for 1 or 2 weeks and take people on tours through the national parks or on the rivers. I'll take them through the cities of the South. I do this mostly in the summer, and then in the winter, I'm here full time. And when I'm here, this is my desk. I've got a second monitor on a swing out arm, got the laptop right there, nice view out the window, get everything done that I need to from here. And then when you're done working for the day, just push this out of the way, spin the monitor, and it's a great place for 2 people to sit and have dinner.
So being a tour guide, do you do much office work, or why do you have a desk set up for this?
So I do the tour guiding mostly in the summer, going to the national parks, and I've taken people all around the world. But I also plan events for other RVers and nomads. I've done probably 40 or 50 different events for groups as small as a dozen people and up to 800 or 1,000 folks. So that's what I do from here when I'm not tour guiding. And yeah, having the second monitor and the Starlink internet just makes it possible to work anywhere and at any time.
Yeah, so have you run into any problems with Starlink? Pretty happy with it?
No, Starlink works great. You know, it's not the cheapest internet out there, but it's set it and forget it. You know, once you set it up, you never have to worry about it as long as you got a view of the sky. Been a literal game changer for those of us who've been on the road as long as I have. You know, 10 years ago, if we needed internet, we had to go to the library. 5 years ago, if we got 1.5 megabytes down when we're out boondocking, that was enough for us to live on and we were excited by it. And then 2 years ago, Starlink became affordable and available. And now, you know, we don't need it, but if you get less than 50 megs down, you're kind of like, what's going on today? It's a little bit slow. So it's a literal game changer, allowing people to work from the road and stream Netflix and do all the good things while you're out in the middle of nowhere. So this is my home, so you have to have everything, including a bathroom. It's not a big one, but it's totally adequate, does everything you need. It's a wet bath. It's got 5-gallon water heater, which is plenty to take a nice hot shower for 2 people in the morning. It's got a 25 or 30-gallon black tank, so I can usually last about 10 days to 2 weeks with 2 people living in here before I need to dump it. It's got everything you need. It's nothing fancy, but I'm 6'1" about, and I can shower and stand up in there no problem. So just a few things about the outside of the RV. This was a piece of old carpet. I took that out and I couldn't figure out what to do there, so I put in a chalkboard. And now we're at Schoolypalooza right now, and every event I go to, every activity, I get people who are around to sign their name. Then I take a picture of it. It's a nice little memento. A couple of other things. You saw the solar panel in the original photos. 2,300 watts of solar on the roof, an absolutely massive amount. And then around the whole thing, I've got this awesome light strip that I love. My neighbors probably hate it, but I'm very selective when I turn it on, but it really lights up the night and helps me find my rig in a dark space when we're out boondocking. And then I put these security cameras up. They're for security. They're also kind of fun just to see what's going on if you hear a noise coming by late at night or something. And yeah, they're interesting because they follow you as somebody comes up to the RV or walks around it. The cameras will follow you. They also have night vision, so I can see at night if anybody's coming up, or occasionally you get triggered by some animals that are coming up in the middle of the night. That's kind of fun to see a coyote. The cameras are WYZE cams. They weren't very expensive, but I like them. Good enough quality, and I like that they follow you around. So 2 cameras gives me 360 degrees of coverage on the RV. I also use the cameras as a backup cam and a side view cam when I'm going down the highway. So it does double duty.
Do you have to have Wi-Fi running at all times for that?
Do have to have Wi-Fi running it all the time, but I never turn off Starlink. It stays on all the time.
JP, thank you so much for giving us a tour of your very unique vehicle. Again, I'd not seen one like that, but again, thank you for showing it to us.
I enjoy showing it off, and you're right. It does get a lot of attention, and it gets some looks. If you want to follow along and see some pictures and some other videos, check out my Instagram at Traveling with JP, and I post stuff from my travels there occasionally, and that's probably the best way to keep up.
That's perfect. So folks, go ahead and follow him on Instagram. And out there, what is your favorite part of his unique build and the unique vehicle that he's driving? We'd love to hear in the comments below. If you got anything out of today's video, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it with friends. But until next time, we'll see you down the road. So long.